Pull up over the fofo, wanna run with the over the fofo.
Imagine this, you just finished watching your favorite YouTuber, some Froast cover a web series. You come out of it feeling pretty inspired and you want to make your own. But how? Which area do you start with? How do you design these characters? How do you begin writing? That last thing is something you gotta figure out yourself, but I will insist on what not to do. Real quick, I'll describe the differences between an ARG and a web series. An ARG is a type of storytelling online in which you, the viewer, can interact with to find more parts or actively progress and change the story, be it groups, hidden videos, blogs, or even games. The viewer is actively encouraged to participate in these. Web series, on the other hand, at their core are just a series of videos with the intention of carrying a narrative along. Essentially, it could just be any kind of series, not even horror or anything. Edgeworld, for example, is a web series. I'll be covering the basics of what you'll need to get started on your own series. As I said earlier, this video will be split into chapters, so feel free to jump around or revisit sections as needed. These are the core basics you want to nail down before diving into production. These will be very important when you begin creating, especially when you have a team. Let's get into it. Research. Once you pick the year or era your series takes place in, start digging into anything ROBLOX related from that time. Games, forums, assets, and even player behavior. This helps you stay accurate and could even spark some ideas on how characters should act or what they're into, all that. For forum content, I highly recommend the ROBLOX Forum Archive. It's a fully searchable archive from the now defunct ROBLOX forums, complete with keyword search, user post filters, and even a time machine filter. This is especially useful for understanding how players communicated, what topics for, everybody was talking about this, everybody was talking about that, I remember seeing somebody complain about the price floor. Yeah, that's actually kind of important if you want subjects to make a video about or something. And how different sub-communities operated. Like when there were clans, wars, stuff like that. For quick video references, channels like ROBLOX Footage Archives, and let me clarify, ROBLOX Footage Archives but real, not the series, and Toasted Cherry's archival channel, No Maple, are great places to look. These are icons of actual old Roblox content without any little scary little guy running across the screen. Did you guys see that? If this doesn't suit you, try using YouTube search filters. Typing something like ROBLOX before year in the search bar can surface videos with just a few hundred views even. More often than not, though, these are just random players just recording how they played the game, what they're doing, stuff like that. Sometimes you find real gems like, this. But other than that, you'll find what players are interested in at the same time, all that. Let's talk about tropes. Yes. So, when you're looking for older videos and other web series, a common thing you'll see are videos spacing off of ROBLOX Gone Crazy. These usually are just people being inspired by JJ5X5. He didn't invent the formula of ROBLOX bloopers, that was around long before I know he joined Roblox. But in general, he's the most, well-known Roblox bloopers creator. Depending on when your series takes place, I believe you could also do that, but in my opinion, it's a little oversaturated. It was popular for sure, but I don't think many people were willing to make fools of themselves and edit it and put it on YouTube as they are now. Something you could do is that around early 2009, Roblox held this contest called ROBLOX Rocks. For context, ROBLOX Rocks was a contest held by staff. It had people create unofficial Roblox music videos on, Roblox. Things like that existed before. For example, Shedletsky's video. The contest helps solidify it as a part of Roblox history. Just make sure the songs you are making are era appropriate. Another common trope is house tour videos. I did it, RandomWorks did it, but they're the one that popularized it. It happens every other web series. Although I'll admit that I haven't seen this done all too much in actual older videos. It doesn't really come up often when I go searching for such. The trope has been done to death, but I think it's for good reason. It can be used to see how the protagonists choose to detail their home life, and what they leave out. It's used to its full extent again, RandomWorks, which I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother knows RandomWorks, so I don't need to talk about it more than that. Okay, I couldn't fit this in with the original without it feeling too weird, so here's tropes part 2. This section builds on the first, but we're going to be talking about plotline tropes you often see in ROBLOX web series. For beginners, one of the most common setups is a protagonist with a group of friends who stumble across something like evil entities, strange buildings, all that stuff. Sometimes something goes missing, although I'll be honest, I've seen much of. This show isn't used a lot. Recall Hollow Heart did it, and again, not to toot my own horn, Faithfuls did it too. And just to be clear, tropes aren't bad, they're used a lot because they work. Do not stress about being totally original. What matters is how you make those tropes work to your advantage. Circling back to research, which this section will probably be a lot longer than the other one, time periods play a major role in how your character should act. As Seal directly puts it in his video on making a ROBLOX Webseries /ARG, people are people, not stereotypes. That is a really important reminder when writing dialogue. When you look into older ROBLOX content, you'll find that people didn't talk like this.
Hi guys! So how are we doing? LOLXD!
That kind of exaggerated text isn't just inaccurate, it's patronizing. If you see it going like, how do you do, fellow kids in a room full of adults who haven't even played Roblox and instead left normal lives, it flattens your characters down into caricatures and breaks immersion. Even in early Roblox communities, players had distinct personalities, tones, and quirks. Your job is to reflect and replicate that nuance. Take one of my characters for example, Miss Laddie, or just Laddie. She's 13 years old and her video takes place in late 2008. Her dialogue is simple and relaxed.
LOL, I don't think you know that I'm AFK.
This is a good example of what you should be writing like. There are misspellings and took up proper grammar, commas, capitalizations, etc. Because she's young, and frankly she doesn't care. But still feels natural and era-appropriate. It's also important to know that terms like THO, T-H-O, haven't been around yet. But if for some reason you want to disregard this, and you for some reason want your character saying TSPMO-ICL in the middle of 2009, all the power to you, I wish I had that bravery. Now let's talk about the clan/war subcommunities that became more prevalent in the 2010s on the forums. Because of the groups they're in, players tend to be more serious. They usually try to maintain decent grammar, but slips still happen. The contrast is important. It shows how subcultures within Roblox have their own norms and expectations. Your writing should reflect that. Not to mention, separate from the military kids, there were some people that just took the forums way too seriously. Most of them were just smartasses though, so again, good place to look is Frost Forum Archive. Software and tools. Client launchers. When creating a web series, you're going to want to know how to emulate older Roblox clients. Right off the bat, do not use Retro Studio. It is not recommended if you're going for authenticity. But if you absolutely can't use any of the software I'll be talking about, it's your best bet. Just note that people might notice at one point and will take away from immersion, and people are probably going to mock you for it. Which is honestly a major flaw of the ROBLOX Webseries community, but I don't think we're going to talk about that yet. First launcher, for lack of a better term, is only Retro Roblox here, which I think it is the best one and should be your go-to launcher for clients from 2007 to late 2013. While it is currently no longer supported such being updated to my understanding, it's still worth a try. And I will post tutorials on how to fix some issues I may arise from using it. Due to the Roblox asset delivery updates, you will need to make a burner account and a Roblox security cookie for it to work, as long as you do webserver.dll. There will be a tutorial for this in the description. The second launcher is Novides. I don't personally recommend this one, but if you can't figure out only Retro Roblox here, this is your other option. Novides has had clients from 2007 to 2011. It also has stopped receiving updates as far as I know, but it has a bootstrapper that streamlines the process. So if you don't want to rip your hair out figuring out which Microsoft ASPX.NET DLL you're missing, use that. Do know that Novides has a larger file size than only Retro Roblox here. I am also unsure if Novides can handle custom shirts or pants anymore due to the asset delivery updates Roblox has had. You can use whatever you want, but just know each launcher has its pros and drawbacks. Recording. Okay, so when choosing recording software, a lot of people tend to gravitate towards the obvious one, Hypercam and Bandicam. While these are tried and true, they have become synonymous with web series as of late. These work and you can use them, but I recommend choosing different software or experimenting with other software. Cam Studio, Screen Recorder Gold, and Froust were used too. Cam Studio has the benefit of being very customizable according to my experience of using it. For example, it was used in a Faithfuls episode, an early one at that, with Fern's encounter with GX1. Screen Recorder Code is also a good one. It was used in Roblox The Masked Killer, where Killer Kyle was brought into the world. Froust is also good, but be aware that it records in 30-second increments. If you're using, the unregistered demo of it, which gives you the watermark. Which isn't great, but it's also really good for the previously mentioned Roblox blooper type videos. But if you don't feel like using old ass software for silly little Roblox videos, you can just record your preferred software and just compress it how you see fit. I don't recommend going under 360p for normal gameplay, but what do I know? Go ahead, compress the video. Make it look able to on people think Android phones are like. Just know that if your series is heavy reliant on dialogue and you do this, the only thing that's scary about it will be just how clearly you can see it. Jesus fucking Christ, ew. Closing thoughts. Another reminder, this isn't/wasn't supposed to be a step-by-step guide on how to make a series. These are just things I believe are important to get to know when making one. If requested, I could also dive into character designs and all of that. But for the sake of keeping this video short, and it's already got a lot longer than it was going to be, I won't be diving into those things. That's all I have to say. And my last tip, have fun, and you don't have to confide by what I have to say here. Experiment. Do whatever you want. It's your thing, and, you know, just have fun. See you later.